Last week we learned Webster has several variations to define peace. This week I will attempt to define dove peace. Now there is a commonality in Webster's variations of peace in which both secular and Christian followers can associate with. Christians often mistake worldview peace for Jesus peace. Although Jesus peace, aka dove peace, may share similar emotional attributes of the world peace, it actually can be construed as the opposite. For that reason, defining dove peace proves to be a challenge for most to effectively describe. A Christian might define dove peace as a place of tranquility, rooted deep in our souls, found through the unique bond between our Creator, which transcends all understanding and knowledge. Dove peace is independent of all circumstances and is not found in self-help books, positive thinking gurus, or in absence of conflict. Understand this definition is encoded with Christianese, meaning unless you speak the language, you will not fully comprehend the beauty of dove peace. Now you might be thinking, how is that going to help me define dove peace? It isn't, but don't feel bad. The majority of people, and yes, including Christians, can't either. The truth is you cannot simply place dove peace into a neatly wrapped box with a sparkly shining red bow on top and hand it to somebody. Dove peace can't be defined alone. Dove peace has to be experienced. It would be silly of me to hand the keys of my car to an inexperienced driver after a brief verbal lesson and expect my car to be returned without a blemish. Believe me, I know this from firsthand experience. At the age of 17, I wanted to impress a girl by attempting to teach her how to drive my car. That driving lesson ultimately ended with a collision into a bowling alley establishment. Oh! The must-know-hows of driving a car are mirrors, ignition, gear shift, steering wheel, brake, and gas pedal. But until you actually experiencing adjusting the mirrors, turning on the ignition, pulling that gear shift into drive, and letting off the brakes, and pushing down on the gas pedal, you will really never know what it feels like to drive a car. The same can be said about dove peace. From the city of Corinth, Apostle Paul, a man who definitely experienced dove peace, wrote, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Dove peace is only achieved through living by God's individual will for each one of us. There lies the problem. We tend to live life through the pattern of the world instead of God's unique purpose for each one of us. And God's purpose is found only by being in a relationship with Him. A relationship so intimate that you allow Him complete control over your life and trust He will catch you when you fall. Sounds crazy? Not only is it crazy, it is absolutely bonkers. So why should you give control of your life to a God who you may or may not believe you can fully trust in? Sorry, only you can answer that question. I can only share my personal life story of failing miserably while attempting to conform to this world and not God's design purpose for me. But I can guarantee you, once you learn to recognize dove peace encounters, life will never be the same. Over the years, I have learned to identify dove peace encounters on a daily basis. Dove peace encounters come in all sizes. A small encounter might come in the form of a great conversation, a special occasion, accomplishments, or even a simple walk. Small dove peace encounters often follow into the worldview of peace definition. Absent of conflict with complete freedom from disquieting or oppressive thoughts. The Big Dove Peace encounters, especially the ones that appear during personal life storms, tend to be more difficult to see, but they usually have the most impact on our lives. In order to experience the Big Dove Peace encounters, you first need to learn to appreciate the small ones. If you are having trouble finding peace in the simplest of your daily activities, then it is nearly impossible to discover Dove Peace when life storms happen. I would encourage you to create a journal or an Excel spreadsheet and track when and how many times during the week you experience peace and joy. You can find a simple template at doveteachings.org resources. Just to give you a quick baseline, if you're experiencing peace and joy only a couple times a week, you might be having a tough week or going through a difficult life storm. But if your journal reads 21 or more, then you're doing pretty good. You're averaging 3 daily peace and joy experiences, which is incredible. Through this exercise, you will discover some weeks are better than others, so don't get discouraged. The goal is to establish your peace and joy baseline and work towards growing your internal Dove peace. Next week, Pastor Heather will be on the show to talk about how to read the Bible. Make sure you go to doveteachings.org and click on this episode to watch her full message. May God bless you with peace in your daily life through the teachings of Jesus.